going to show you how to make a Rebelion, Cryex, Riot Adjuzt, Atmospheres gated kick. I kind of like to call it a clench kick. It's a very tight kick, kind of high pitch, airy, as some people describe it. So you can hear this a lot more frequently being used in tracks. And I haven't really seen a tutorial how to create this kind of punch or this style of punch. And it's usually followed with a gated tail. So I'm not going to explain the tail because the tail is you can find a tail or you can even just make your own tail. Really easy. But the punch is the primary thing that I want to talk about today and how to get that sound. So I'm going to play about 4 types of punches, kind of different character, but you get the idea once I play it. And this is my creation of how to make these kind of kicks. Yeah, pretty similar, kind of different in a way, but I want to show you guys how to make it. And it's not really a secret, I would say. There's no exact way to do it, but there is certain stuff that you should note when you're trying to make these kicks, so you can get that actual type of sound of kick instead of it's just a raw kick that you've heard. So I started off with a laser kick, which sounds like this. Yeah, it sounds very weird, but you can hear the punch is really what we're looking for. And I'll even just show us this here. So the first thing is I had to distort it a lot first. So I'm using a trash here, just simple distortions, and then another distortion. But I primarily, what the EQ, which I want you guys to pay attention, is that I'm boosting these high mids. I'm not doing any. Let me just copy. All right, I'm not doing any really high peaks and then doing something like this. I'm leaving kind of a smooth bell. And also, when we're doing this, we should be lowering these mids. Now, I know at first glance this EQ looks really weird, but this is how you can actually achieve the sound. So I'm just boosting these areas where I like. And you'll hear if let's listen to what the punch sounds like, the laser, with just trash. So here's with a EQ. So we're kind of getting there. Just add another trash EQ. And this is a more crazy EQ. I'm boosting the mids. I'm not boosting mids. I'm boosting these high mids, and then I'm boosting these just regular mids. And we're gonna really hear the sound. And then just an inflator, really simple. I really like this if I'm just trying to push the sound more and get just right at that 0 dB, even though I'm actually turning down the output, so it's just compensating. So I did that. And this is where you can go anywhere with the punch. You can keep doing it, but I bounced it because I kind of liked where it was going. And I turned it down 4 notes, as you can see, transposing in Logic. So if you use FL, you could just do the, if you're pitching down, I guess, with the sense when you double click the audio file, if I remember. And I really like it if I do it 4, because now it just sounds like, let's go on here, actually. Yeah, pretty cool. And it's cool to mess around with different notes because you can get really different sounds and character, obviously. So I have a fresh air. I really kind of wanted to brighten this sound more to make it sound airy-ish, kind of airy. Let's see. I use EQ or trash and then EQ. And this is just cleaning up the sound, but note that I'm using a linear phase because I do not want to mess with the phase with this punch, as if I just use zero latency, there's going to be a mess with phase, and I don't want that because I already like this kick how it is already. Let me just pull this back up. I use an ozone. I just grabbed a reference and I kind of just changed. It just has an EQ, really. That's all it's doing. Just another EQ. Corrective EQing. Multiband. I use this high frequency limiting, but then I just put more stuff to just compress. So one thing also I like to use, I just tried it out for this punch, but I used a CLA 3A, which gives a more snappy sound, and this will make a big difference now. You can kind of hear that click. And just a channel EQ, just a really low cut, as you can see right there. So with that, I have a snare, just as a layer. I have an EQ. And a click just for a little enhancement. So yeah, and these three are going through the punch touch up, which is literally just a limiter. If I turn it off, oops, if I turn it off, on. So yeah, that's really how I do the punch. Again, boosting these highs or high mids and then lows, and even these like the dips also within these both. One thing I would recommend is I recommend to use a laser punch or even just a techno kick, and it has to be good samples, because if you use bad samples or something that is not really a really good character already off the bat, it can really be harder. And that laser punch right here, I really like the sound already. I think it was good, great one, and I only really just did the two insane EQ cutting and boosting, and then I really just got that. Like, I just got a punch off the bat. So I'll just loop it, and you'll be able to hear what the final kick is.